This is a picture I took at the Indy 500, front of the grid. Do you think it's a coincidence that I regularly see the best painted, best sponsored, best prepared cars at the front of the grid? And if you look at this picture, you see all the team are immaculately dressed in matching uniforms. One of the mechanics has his hand on his heart right here, probably during the national anthem. Now, this group of mechanics are about to go into competition at the largest single-day attended sporting event in the world. Happy that all the job lists are taken care of, that everything they need to go against the competition has been taken care of. It is prepared as well as anybody on the grid. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that when I walk to the middle of the grid, there's some pretty good teams there, and they do a good job, and they're glad to be in the Indy 500, and they got their job list, and they're doing everything possible that they can do. And they're looking forward at the big teams. They're looking forward at the teams who are faster than them and at the head of the grid. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that when I go to the back of the grid, usually you see mechanics who wear jeans, they'll have tools in their pockets. You see very few people dressed alike. And in fact, if you look very closely, there's no sponsorship on this car at all. And the mechanic has the rear wing off the car. He's actually working on the gearbox on the grid at the Indy 500. Do you think it's a coincidence that statistically the fallout rate at Indy also starts at the back of the grid? Because it's directly proportional to the preparation that you put in before you go into business, before you go against the competition. And year after year, whenever I take these pictures, it's the same scenario. The back of the grid is populated by teams who do not have the resources, who do not have a plan, who are not executing anything in particular. They're just glad to be there. Where do you think the winning teams are? Sometimes they're at the back in unusual circumstances, but in general, they're up the front. Let me ask everybody a question here. As regards the preparation you put in before you go to your place of business, where would you be on the grid at Indy? What if I asked your boss the same question? Would he agree with whatever answer you gave? I don't know, but let me just ask you to do this. My presentation will be so worthwhile to me if everybody can take just one nugget away, just one nugget of information. So let me just give you a little word picture here. The next time you go into work, whenever it is, or wherever you go to do anything, ask yourself, where am I on the grid today? Because your success ratio is directly proportional to where you are on the starting grid. Where am I on the grid today as regards to preparation? You'll know the answer yourself personally, and you can make changes or choices to get yourself further up the grid because you have all the resources. You have what some of these back of the grid teams don't have. So just ask yourself that little question. Where am I on the grid today